What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and we are back for another review of a new Clone Wars episode early in the morning. Just got finished watching it. This time it's Season 7, Episode 3, On the Wings of Keeradaks. Now, this is part of the Bad Batch arc. This is also one of these unreleased, unfinished episodes that we saw 5 years ago. So I don't know how much there is to spoil for something that's literally been available online for 5 years. If you really loved Clone Wars that much, you could have seen it. However, we'll give my spoiler-free thoughts initially, then we'll give a warning and get into spoilers. Overall, this is a fine episode, I guess a normal episode of Clone Wars, involving mainly the clones and Anakin. So not too bad. A lot of decent action. We've seen the Bad Batch in action already, so it's not really anything new. It's just kind of more at the same of that. We do get to see a little bit of Wat Tambor, like we looked at, like we can tell from the trailers for this, and like this is revolving around. So that's kind of interesting, I guess, if you're interested in a Techno Union character, getting to know just a little more about this villain from Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Other than that, there's not too much I can talk about other than it's a fine episode. So let's go ahead and get into spoilers. Now, to start off this episode, we know that the reason that the Bad Batch, Rex, and Anakin are on Skago Minor at this Techno Union facility is to find what they think was Echo. And of course, in the last episode, they did discover it was Echo being held in some sort of stasis chamber, and he's been replaced with some mechanical parts. It almost looks like he's kind of almost more machine than man at this point. They have him hooked up to this apparatus. They're basically using his brain to help plan their battle plans, to power this kind of artificial intelligence, this algorithm that can help them predict what the Republic is going to do in the war. Now, when we start this episode off, they are fighting all these new battle droids. Like I said in the last one, I kind of gave a spoiler for this one when I told you these are D-Wing air support droids that can actually fly.
Oh, they fly now! They fly now? They fly now!
And yes, they do fly now. So with those droids, they're closing in on this stasis chamber where they're trying to get Rex disconnected. Tech and Rex, are trying to get Echo disconnected from this machine. And the rest of the Bad Batch and Anakin are holding off these droids as they come in. Finally, they have to barricade themselves within the door. Wat Tambor and its other Techno Union allies come up, and this is a part that is a little different from the unreleased episodes. In the unfinished episodes, it was like this standoff where Wat Tambor had this decimator, this little droid that shot electricity, in front of him with a civilian, with a Politech civilian native, and was basically threatening Anakin that he was going to hurt this person if they didn't maintain their neutrality, because they shouldn't be on there because it's supposed to be neutral. So that was a scene in the unreleased episodes that was not in this. They cut it off, I think, just for time, because I didn't see any additional scenes or anything like that. I think they just cut out about a minute of time for this episode. But they close in. The decimator works its way through the bulkheads as they're trying to get out. They eventually get Echo disconnected. He sees an exhaust shaft, and they go ahead and they jump up it, with Wrecker leaving a little present. Wrecker just litters the place with bombs, is barely able to get out of there before the decimator comes in. They blow it up, so no one else can be put in this stasis chamber. Again, no other clones can be used for this stasis chamber. Echo knows the plans, because although they got to see his mind, he also got to see all of the Techno Union's plans. And he realizes there's a landing pad. They have to walk across this super skinny pipe way over to another side of the facility. Of course, there's a big drop. They're all walking in a line. All of a sudden, D-Wing droids, some battle droids come from one side, they come from another. They are surrounded and trapped as they're closing in. But luckily, of course, Tech made a recording of the Keeradaks that we saw from episode 2. Now, I do think it's a little non-creative, because what he does is he plays a sound that's associated with their distress call, and this sound is identical to that of the Accolades, which you can hear here. It's the same sound. There's no difference. Pretty lazy as far as I'm concerned. I thought that may have been something that was just in the initial unfinished episodes, because it was a placeholder, but no, they're just going to reuse the sound. So a little lazy, but that's what It's what Clone Wars is sometimes, let's just be honest. So the Keeradaks come, these flying animals, they all jump on, but then we have that they fly now moment where the D-Wing Air Support droids fly after them. They're able to hold them off and escape to the Politech village. Now they get back to the natives' village, and the natives say, you're going to bring war on us. And they're like, well, we're sorry, but we only care about ourselves. We had to do this for our brother. Look at him. He's more machine than man. We can't let this happen. We couldn't let this happen to them. War was gonna come to you one way or the other. We just kind of brought it faster. The Techno Union does attack this native village, and what do we have? We of course have a typical. This has happened so many times in Clone Wars, but we have the clones and the Jedi, in this case just Anakin, helping the natives to defend their village from the evil separatists. The trope gets reused over and over, so we do see that. Again, we get to see the Bad Batch in action, which is, at this point, after a couple episodes, you're like, okay, I get it. Wrecker's really strong. I get it. Hunter's the leader. He's really cool. He fights with this knife. Okay, they've got the sniper. They've got the tech guy who uses all his gadgets. All right. Kind of getting over it at this point. Not as cool as it was in the first episode, now that we've seen these guys for 3 straight episodes. And they fight off a bunch of D-Wings. A bunch of Politechs do die. I did kind of like that. They showed a lot of them dying, which is a good thing. I think that needs to be somewhat realistic when you have untrained natives defending a village that you get to see. You have to see a lot of them die against this war machine, and that is what happens. Anakin and Rex and Echo are directing it from up top. A little fighting going on there. Then they finally fly in these 2 big Magna Tri-droids, which are just effing everything up. Eventually, Anakin has to join the battle for real, is able to take one of them out while the Bad Batch and Rex handle another one, and they tip over and they win the battle against the big separatist, or big evil separatist armies. The Techno Union realize they've lost. They realize they've lost this huge key in the cog to this battle that they're fighting, this war that they're fighting, with the loss of their asset, with the loss of Echo and his mind. And the Bad Batch, Anakin, Rex, and Echo are ready to evacuate. And they hop on their ship to get out of there. And there's a little scene at the end with Rex and Echo. Echo just thanking Rex so much for coming back for him. And Rex is like, no problem, buddy. You know, it'll be just like old times soon. And there's some ominous music playing. And Echo says something like, yeah, just like old times. Kind of looks up and then walks into the ship to evacuate along with them. And that is the end of the episode. Now, again, like I said, it's an average episode, nothing to really stand out about it. Wasn't really enjoyable for me. I've seen the Bad Batch in action. Wasn't anything new. I've seen this native, this defend the natives thing. It's reused over and over again in Clone Wars. So, and in Star Wars now too, we did it in Mandalorian even. We had a Clone Wars episode in the Mandalorian. So maybe it's just a Dave Filoni thing. I don't know. But we got to see that trope again. Not the biggest fan. But overall, unoffensive episode. Didn't have any Ahsoka. Didn't have much Jedi stuff. Didn't have too much retconning in it. So, an okay episode of the Clone Wars. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, we did finally get to see those D-Wing Air Support droids fly, so for whatever that's worth, we did have that. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.